Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where each week you will find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. For those of you who may be listening for the first time to this weekly show, during the hour we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. And today we're visiting with, first of all, we're going to visit with Robert Colasano, who's the director for Maui County branch of the Mental Health America of Hawaii organization. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Susie. It's glad to be here.
And in the second half of the show, we'll be visiting with Jill Hawley, who is the Maui director for the National Kidney Foundation of Hawaii. Maui. Who's got a big event coming up this weekend. So that's coming up, so stay tuned. Robert, let's talk a little bit about mental health. And we've had another tough year.
Yeah, mental health, particularly over the holidays, is hard for a lot of people. People who are alone, struggle with the holidays. And a lot of people come to Hawaii are alone because they leave their extended family back on the mainland. So it can be a depressing time for people. And even those who may have family with a mental health issue, that doesn't always make a difference. Yeah. If there's a mental illness in one's family, whether it's schizophrenia, bipolar, a major depression, that's a tremendous stress on the family, particularly at the holiday times when people come over and the family member, if they're not acting appropriately, it's disturbing, to the whole family. But year long, it's a tremendous stress on that family. And one of the programs that Mental Health America offers is a program, it's a free program, it's called Family to Family. And it's where families that have someone with a mental illness can get together with other family members and learn how to cope with that ill family member. And it's an intensive 12-week program. And we're going to be offering that shortly. We're still working out the dates, but probably in February. And if people are interested in that, they can get in touch with me.
Okay, and that's meant for anyone in the family or someone who cares or thinks there might be an issue?
That's correct. It's for family members. If you have a friend that has mental illness, a loved one, a relative, it's anybody that you deal with on a regular basis that has mental illness, you're eligible to participate in our Family to Family program. And over a course of 12 weeks, you'll learn all about that particular mental illness. You'll learn about medication. You'll learn about symptomology of different mental illnesses. And you learn how to better help your family member that has a mental illness. And our phone number, if people are interested in that, is 242-6461, 242-6461, and they can just look up on the internet Mental Health America of Hawaii.
That sounds encouraging. It's been a while since you've done that program here, right?
We try to do it a couple times a year.
Okay.
And it's a matter of getting the word out and getting people signed up. But the groups are really pretty intense. After 3 weeks, we don't let anybody new in order to create a solid bonding of the group. And actually, the heart of the group is people sharing with each other what it's like to have an ill family member.
Wow, that's I just keep thinking about, like, over the holidays and the extended stress that it creates. And there was an article by one of the Maui News columnists a couple of weeks ago about suicides and just how many we have here in Hawaii. I think she quoted something like one a week.
Yeah.
In Hawaii.
Yeah.
And on Maui, one every 2 weeks.
Yeah, the statistics are in 2013, 17 people committed suicide or died by suicide. The wording has been changed. We say died by suicide now, as opposed to committed suicide, because committed is associated with a crime. You committed a crime.
I see. Oh, okay.
And it used to be viewed that way, but now we say a person dies by suicide, and 17 died in 2013, and the rate has gone up. 2014, 27.
Wow.
Have died.
That's not just going up. That's a tremendous jump.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's how many who attempt that you know about.
Yeah, that's another thing. For every person that dies by suicide, 25 people attempt suicide.
Oh my gosh.
For every person that dies by suicide, 25 attempt, and that means that in Maui County alone, 425 people last year either died by suicide or attempted suicide.
That's more than one a day.
Yeah. And it's
oh my gosh.
And there's questions that a person can ask another person to intervene in that process if they have a sense that a person is in deep distress.
So if I know somebody and I feel there's something going on with them,
yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah, if you really have that innate sense of that this person is in distress, you need to ask right out, straight out, are you thinking of killing yourself?
How do you do that?
Because no one else has probably asked him that question.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that or not.
You know, if you, and it's not like.
It's not a joke. It's not a.
Are you think it's not? You don't say, "Are you thinking of hurting yourself?"
Right.
Because the person might say, "I'm not thinking of hurting myself." They're saying inside, "I want to die." So you have to ask that question straight out.
Do you really think you're going to get an answer?
Yep. And it could be a tremendous relief to that person that you asked, because who else cared enough to ask that question? Who else cared enough? And it's actually the level of care that you have amplifies the need to ask that question. And it gets even more pointed if you really are in a position to intervene. You ask, are you thinking of killing yourself? Are you thinking of dying? And then if they say yes, and then there's like this moment of silence,
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, and then you don't, you just go with it and say, okay, wow, that's pretty significant. That's important. Do you have a plan to do that? And this is it gives you more of a clue if that person is in a dire strait. And if they say, yeah, I have a plan, and you say, well, tell me what it is, and do you have the means to carry out your plan? And if they say yes, I own a gun, I have a pipe in my garage that I can attach to my exhaust pipe, or whatever, I have pills. Then it gets to a point where you can't leave that person alone, and you have to get them to the emergency room. Maui Memorial Hospital emergency room will take anybody that expresses suicidal tendencies and ideations.
Really?
They will take them, and we have an inpatient unit called the Molokini unit. And if they express a desire to harm themselves or harm someone else, they'll be admitted and stabilized.
Now, will this person go with you, or will they put up a fight?
Everybody is, it's an individual thing. It's best if a person voluntarily goes. However, if somebody answers yes, 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 I want to kill myself. Yes, I have a plan, and yes, I have the means to carry out that plan. If they don't go, you're really obligated to call 911. And it's not the police aren't going to come screaming up. The Mental Health America teaches the police how to manage mental health crises on the island. So we have an ongoing program to do that. But medical people are also dispatched to address this issue.
Wow. Oh, man.
A little overwhelming.
So I didn't want to just start out the program with that. Maybe even to ahead of this, there is a number that a person can call and have a mental health professional come out and interview a person who seems to be in distress. And that's an 800 number. It's a state-wide number, and there's a contract actually with Aloha House here on this island where they're under contract when they get a call, and if somebody's determined that they are in distress, even just not even talking suicide, that a mobile crisis person is dispatched within 45 minutes to that person. And people have to call, it's called the access line, 1-800-753-6879. 1-800-753-6879. If you're in distress and you're in crisis, you can call that number, and a mental health professional at no cost to you will be dispatched to your home here on Maui in 45 minutes.
Now, what would trigger in this person the idea to make this call to save themselves?
If we're talking suicide, that's one thing. That's something that if somebody wants to do that, it's very hard to intervene. However, anybody can call that 800 number who's in distress, who's feeling like that they are, I'm going to say, losing it, for lack of any more of a clinical term, that they're, if a family member calls that number, the crisis person on the other end is going to want to talk with the person in crisis, unless they can hear that person in the background ranting or talking really loud and so on. But they generally want to interview the person.
Right, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that person though that's going through the crisis? There's got to be somebody there with them to make that phone call. I would think. I can't see them turning around and saying,
usually,
one last try.
Usually, like if somebody calls me and they say they have a person in crisis, I either get them to hand the phone. Like a parent or brother or sister or friend can make the initial call, and then when the counselor asks, well, let me talk to the person, you can just hand the phone to that person.
Wow, what a way to start off the year.
What a way to start off the year, and it's a major problem. There's stuff on Maui going on where I can just tell you.
Let's hold that for just a second. We got to take a break. We'll do that right now, and then we'll come back and dig into it.
Okay.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our executive directors to find out what's happening here on Maui. And today we're facing head-on the staggering numbers of suicides and the issue of mental health with Robert Colasano, who's the director for Maui County Branch of Mental Health America of Hawaii. And for those of you who maybe didn't catch the first 20 minutes of the show, just some staggering statistics were put out. We also put out questions that if you know someone who is in trouble, some questions to ask them. And Robert can be reached at 242-6461 if you want to find out what those questions are and how to go through that with someone. But you've got some other information we want to put out here in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, just to highlight the fact of what we're talking about. In the last 3 months alone here on Maui, 4 youth and 3 adults have died by suicide. So in the last 3 months, so you're talking 2 people a month, and then you multiply that times 25 people for every attempt at suicide. For every completed suicide, 25 people have attempted suicide.
We're back up in the 200 range again.
Yeah. So
actually, that's even higher.
Yeah, and the state of Hawaii has among the highest rate in the country of teenagers attempting or planning suicide. The highest rate in the country, Hawaii, for teenagers.
We keep priding ourselves in living in the best place in the world, the most beautiful place in the world, and yet young people don't want to stay here.
Yeah.
They want out.
Yeah.
Is there some common thread? Is there?
There is.
Okay.
There is. Native Hawaiians, rural folks, people living in rural areas, military families, foster care youth, youth in the juvenile justice system, gay and lesbian youth, and youth with other mental health challenges are at greatest risk. Almost 12%, 11.9% of the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander population of youth have attempted suicide in the past year.
Oh my gosh.
The past year. The highest rate of any ethnic group in the country.
Now, when we're talking about youth, we're talking ages...
Yeah, up to 18.
Wow.
Teenagers. So if a teen is talking about dying, talking about I can't live anymore, there's those 4 questions.
Right. So they're saying they can't function in this world.
Yeah. I mean,
they don't fit.
Son, are you thinking of killing yourself? Or if it's a friend, are you thinking of killing yourself? Because no one out it takes courage to ask that question.
Yeah, it does.
And it's important to know, people might think, oh, I can't talk about that because I'm going to put that in their mind. But there's no way. Our innate self-preservation is so great in a human being that you can't instill the idea of suicide unless somebody wants to die by suicide. So you don't ever be afraid, you're going to give somebody that idea. I mean, there's plenty of... They're exposed to it all the time. It's not like you're giving them the idea. And plus, our innate will to live supersedes your power to interject that.
My goodness.
But isn't that a huge statistic? Almost 12% of Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander youth attempted suicide in the past year. the highest rate of any ethnic group in the country. And of course, gay and lesbian youth are particularly at risk. And youth today who are bullied are particularly at risk because this bullying is 24/7 now with social media.
Right.
Used to be a kid would go to school and they'd come home and they have some respite. But now it's 24/7. You know, kids are bullying each other back and forth, and it's intense. So we have speakers that go out to the high schools and talk to kids, about this issue, and I also want to mention a great program here in Maui County. It's the Parents and Children Together, and if you have a youth who's in distress, please call PACT, P-A-C-T, at 244-2330. And they have a program that's called multi-systemic therapy, where they actually wrap services around a kid to get that kid what they need. The kid stays in the community, but there's intensive wraparound services to help protect that kid from whatever is going on. So for youth, PACT, multi-systemic therapy, 244-2330. You can look all this stuff up on the internet, PACT. And I know we're running out of time a little bit, but the Maui County has a website to address this issue because it's such a big issue. It's called Prevent Suicide Maui County, all one word, Prevent Suicide Maui County, spelled out COUNTY.org. And if you go there, you'll get a lot of information about suicide. And we have a suicide task force that meets every month, third Thursday of the month at UH Maui. UH Maui just had a staff person
Wow.
died. We meet there the third Thursday, and the public's welcome. People want more information, they can call me, Mental Health America. And
I wanted to ask you, so you said that Hawaii has the highest rate for suicides with the children.
Yeah.
And then you...
the highest attempted.
Okay.
Kids,
And
yeah.
then you also spoke about the demographic.
Yeah,
So is there any type of studies or statistics elsewise that are showing why the correlation's like that? I mean, like I noticed that you said that for example, Native Hawaiians have a high rate. Is there any correlation?
Well, I'm really sensitive to the Native Hawaiian population because they're under tremendous stress. I mean, people like you and I am looking at 3 haoles at this table, and we have come to the island, and people have bought up properties, and it's difficult. It's difficult. There's local families that they can't live on the island,
Right.
and I'm just sensitive to that.
Sure.
And it's like with any indigenous population that, where another group comes in, there's stress involved. Take, Native Americans,
Right.
with their alcohol consumption and so on. So, and the rural populations, Hana, we've done trainings in Hana, Molokai, Lanai. It's all part of Maui County. And I personally never forget that I'm a guest here, and I am grateful to be here. But I'm a guest on this island, and I don't know.
Right.
It's something that we all have to be aware of. We all have to share this island somehow together.
Well, the numbers are just, they're so staggering in my mind. I guess I don't know. I keep thinking about tomorrow, and obviously somebody who's contemplating suicide, there is no tomorrow. in their lives, or they don't see one.
Yeah, that's the thing. The despair is so intense that people don't see a way out. And recently, I'm talking 2 or 3 weeks ago, a man died by suicide, chose to die by suicide here. And he's a man that I knew personally, and he's a man that had access to every resource that was possible if he, and he still chose to die by suicide. But I actually had personal contact with him a week before, gave him a hug, and I didn't see it.
Didn't see it.
I didn't sense it. However, and maybe I should end with this, if somebody has attempted suicide in the past, this man had attempted suicide in the past, they're at high risk for attempting it in the future. And so if you know somebody who has a history of suicide and they're talking about ending their life now, you really got to take this seriously. To me, that's the only definitive process now, because I'm pretty sensitive to this stuff. I'm
Right.
intuitive, and I didn't get anything from this guy.
Interesting.
Gave him a big hug. We were sitting in a meeting together, and he ended his life like 2 or 3 days before Christmas. Left a wife and young child.
How sad.
Yeah.
How sad.
Thank goodness for your organization. And
Yeah.
what a wonderful nonprofit to have here.
Thank you.
Truly,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's good to have hands and feet out there. And I love that you're going to the schools and touching base and keeping it top of mind in the fact that they have help and they have alternatives. I think it's an amazing nonprofit.
Thank you. Mental Health America operates principally with volunteers, and we help to organize them and mobilize them to
Right.
run all these different programs that we have going on.
And I think what I'm hearing here between Jill and Robert in your conversation is that the number's there. Call it.
Yes.
Robert can't be everywhere. Your board of directors can't be everywhere. And so when people see or suspect or even have an inkling that something's going on in somebody's life and has some of these previous factors that you were talking about, call Robert at 242-6461. And if it's a situation that has reached crisis stage, the number you gave for the hotline.
Yeah, you can have somebody come right out to your home, 1-800-753-6879. And that's the mobile crisis. But rather than call Robert,
Okay.
ask the question.
Ask the questions.
Ask the questions. And we have trainings here on Maui to learn how to ask that question. There's 2 trainings in particular. One is called Safe Talk. It's like Safe Talk. It's like asking the question, are you thinking of killing yourself? Not are you thinking of hurting yourself? And because it's personal, it's you and this other person. And it's
and you can't see it. I mean, like if you can see an injury of your arm is severed or something, but you can't see the criticalness of the person. So it's amazing that's true. Those simple words can make a difference.
And we all know that something is going on in this country because kids are killing themselves and killing others.
Right.
Right? And there's always a suicide attached to these incidences of gun violence.
Right.
There's always
True.
a suicide.
I know. I keep when I hear about somebody who shot 2 people and then turned the gun on themselves, I'm going, well, if you wanted to end it, why didn't you just end your life?
Yeah.
Why did you have to take others with you?
Yeah. And it's the combination. It's the combination of guns, substance abuse. It's a what do they call that? A perfect storm going on.
Yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share about this stuff. I'm always willing to talk about it. 242-6461 here on Maui.
We will have you back again because it's obviously a growing issue, a growing concern, and we need all the input we can get as as fellow residents of the island.
And Kathy Collins, big shout out to Kathy Collins. Great article in the Maui News a few days ago before
Right,
Christmas.
right.
And also Lucy Feinberg followed up with a
Right, I saw that one on Pact.
yeah, comment on Kathy's article in the
Right.
newspaper. So we're grateful for when other people jump in and grab the bull by
Right.
the horn, so to speak.
We need to think more about others. I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own lives that we can sit right there or stand right there and talk to other people and not really hear them.
Correct.
You know, and that's where maybe some of this could be stopped.
Yeah, let's not be afraid.
I
Let's
know.
not be
Gosh, it
afraid.
sounds awful.
You know, because people want somebody to
Care.
care
Yeah,
to that level.
right. Thank you, Robert.
Aloha.
Aloha. We're going to shift gears now. We're going to talk story with Jill Holly about Uncle Willie K's Blue Fest coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's a 2-day event, and tickets are on sale right now. I think we've been saturating television and radio in regards to this event, but it's a 2-day, January 8th and 9th, and it's going to be at the golf course, the King Kamehameha Golf Course. Both days it starts at 6:30, and there's just so much fun packed in each one of the days, and you can still buy tickets if you wanted to go to www.williekbluesfest.com. You'll be able to purchase online. We're all excited about this event, and the National Kidney Foundation is an official group that's going to get proceeds from this event, and we're super excited, and we're all turning out. We're also going to have a silent auction there for the National Kidney Foundation, and all proceeds will stay in Maui. So
Okay.
we're super happy about that, and we're always grateful for the Willie K group and tribe because he partners so much with us. He's had experiences in his family with kidney disease, and this event is going to go out and have fun and still take care of a good cause.
And those who like the blues music, there's not really too many places you can go and hear blues. Is there on Maui?
Well, there, you can hear Willie a lot on the island, but I think the performances that he's going to put together is going to be something a little bit special. Plus, he has special guests that are going to be appearing. So it's going to be like a folk festival. The golf course is preparing a barbecue feast,
Oh,
and
it is
then there will
barbecue,
be
okay.
a non-host bar.
Okay.
So, and then, there's 2 nights. So if you want to come out on Friday or Saturday, check availability on the website. And we're
Or
looking
come
forward
both
to it.
nights.
Or come both nights. Yeah.
Because the music will be different
We've
groups.
got a lot of people involved in this event in the community, and we really appreciate our sponsors. But the event is the 4th annual event. It's been a lot of different locations.
That's because it's been growing every year.
Correct. And the Samantha Fish is going to be joining them Friday night. She's a blues singer and well-known. And then, of course, Willie K and the Warehouse Blues Band. Doors are at 5:30, and then the show starts at 6:30. And then on Saturday night, they have Taj Mahal. Now, that's a blues as well. So if you're into blues, you need to be at the golf course this weekend. Again, on both nights, 5:30 the doors and 6:30, and bring your appetite and a good mood to listen to some good music and a great venue.
It is. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back and talk some more about Willie K and Kidney Foundation.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Howling at the moon like a dog in heat. Howling at the moon like a dog.
Okay, we just gave up Christmas music for blues.
Trying to get you in the mood.
Oh, yeah. Guess who that was?
I don't know.
I wonder. What jumped out of your library?
That was Willie
Gary?
K. Howling at the Moon, Willie K.
Willie K. Howling at the
Moon.
Moon.
We should have known that one.
Whoa, very good. Okay, so Willie K. has been a great supporter of the Kidney Foundation over the last few years and putting these events together. And
Well, he kind of understands. He knows that the statistics show that Pacific Islanders are heavy, as well as particularly Hawaiian, and he's had a lot of issues in his family. And so I admire him because he wants to get the word out, and he has a challenge that's actually on our website.
oh, really?
Yeah, it's www.kidneyhi.org, and just look for Willie K. Challenge. He just wants everybody to turn around this epidemic that we have in Hawaii. I think it's amazing that we just listened to Robert talk about the highest numbers in Hawaii, and then with the kidney disease, we have the highest numbers in the nation as well. And the two nonprofits that you've had at your table today have the highest, and so it's a
Ooh, staggering. Ouch.
and but the good thing is that the National Kidney Foundation of Hawaii is there. We're out and about trying to kind of in the nicest way get up in your crawl and get you tested and make sure you're healthy and happy. And it's preventative because kidney disease is a silent killer. So, and Willie K knows all of that true and well. And so we're grateful for him and the tribe. It's a really great organization to work with.
That's when you talk about it being the silent killer, I guess that's the part that's scary, because so many people who have been diagnosed with kidney kidney disease, whether it's chronic kidney disease or otherwise, have some of the symptoms mimic other illnesses.
Yes. Like, well, I was going to say, the two indicators for kidney disease are your high blood pressure and your having diabetes. And many times when you're having diabetes symptoms, you're thinking it's solely that, but it's actually moving into the kidney failure and moving into things where you're going to have to go into dialysis.
And so how do you forestall that? I mean, is there a way
Great
to...
question. That's a wonderful question. And what I always tell everyone is that there's so many times that you're going and you're being a good patient and you're getting your cholesterol checked and your blood pressure checked and triglycerides checked. But many times you walk out of the doctor's office with your lab slip and they've not checked for your kidney disease. It's a few additional checks on a lab form that you're making as part of your life. So my word that I've been trying to get out in my tenure with the Kidney Foundation is to make sure you're checking your kidneys regular, because it can change. It can change in months' time. I have a girlfriend that I just worked with at the Kidney Foundation, and now she's starting to have symptoms. And it's just the only way you're going to find out is by checking. So we're trying to be early. Screenings will find out, because you're not going to find out by your symptoms or by walking around. So the thing is to get screened, urine test, blood test, and to do it at least twice a year.
So the doctor would call that kidney function
Yes.
testing.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's normal, fine, you're on the okay. But now there's some things that you can do to
There-
keep it within that.
Right.
from-
Well, your kidney is actually a filter. So
Right.
that's what, when they're doing the test, they're checking that. And if they find out that you have some questionable rates, they can do additional test, a little bit more invasive, and it can kind of narrow it down to what they're thinking or not. So we do 2 screenings. One's in Lahaina. That's going to be in October of 2016. And then we're actually going to be working with the adult daycare and doing a screening in February, and then followed by doing another large screening at the Queens Mall in March 26th. So those are just some of our larger screenings that we do. We normally screen well over 100 people. I think I've reminded you and told you that one time I found a couple there who had taken the bus in, and we found out that their blood sugar was at 500, and it immediately took them to the doctor.
Right. You should
And they had no clue. So that's what we're trying to do, is get out in the community. We want to increase. We want to do a screening up country. We want to do one in Kihei as well. That's my whole idea, is taking the screenings to the people,
Right.
make it convenient, and we never walk away with not finding somebody with some signs. Like my last screening in October, we found 14 people that had the beginning signs. And that doesn't mean, when I say beginning, it doesn't mean that, oh, you're great and you're okay. It's time to make changes, or you're really going to go toward dialysis.
Right. So now the changes that people have to make, is that in their eating habits, or?
It's a whole lifestyle change.
Okay. Health
And we
routine.
don't leave the people out. When we find these groups that we do screen, the very following month, we do a 4-part monthly series. So it's like once a week we have a class, and we teach you different ways. And you can always go online and also research this, but it's always great to have the interaction and real teachers and whatnot. And there's we wrap it up with a grocery store tour, so that your labels, and there's the tricks of the trade that the dietitians will share with you. So it's really, really wonderful. And we're hoping to increase our screenings, and really this year we'd like to make a big cut into this epidemic that we have. I mean, if we could even just match the national rates, what a huge thing. But I mean, every year we keep fighting and fighting, and the numbers keep going up.
Right. And there's no, as I recall looking at the list of potential issues that could lead to kidney disease, there's not, it's not, if you're 50 pounds overweight, you're headed there.
Correct.
You could be
yeah.
50 pounds underweight and be headed there.
Yeah.
So there's no line down the center that once you cross it.
Correct. And every case is different
Right.
and individual. The National Kidney Foundation takes in used cars, and one car that I actually took in, the lady advised me that she had stage 3 kidney disease, which is a place to be a little bit alarmed, and she got that from a prescription that her doctor had ordered for her arthritis. So yes, it's not fair, and doctors have the best intentions, but every body reacts to different things. And if you notice all those questions on the television about check your kidneys, or you shouldn't have kidney disease, when they're talking about the medications, it's because we try to make you to watch your over-the-counter as well as prescription medications with your kidneys, because that can hurt it.
Interesting. Yeah, I noticed over the holidays there were some new ads that showed up. Research projects in place. You sign up if you're between this age and that age. Go on this website and check it out. If you're taking a certain medication and have been for some time, go on this website. And you look at those and you think, is this a scam? And I think 9 times out of 10, personally, I believe they're not a scam. They really are trying to get research accomplished so that they can find out more and more. Like in the case of that prescription drug you're talking about, that may be 1 out of 10 million subscriptions for that.
Exactly. And you may take that particular prescription and not have an issue.
Right.
So back to, you have to be your own advocate, and you have to say what's working for you and what's not. And particularly if you just happen to always be proactive and get your screening and make sure you're not in danger, that would be great.
There you go.
But if you get to the place where you're starting to have a little bit of issues, then you're going to have to take it personal and decide how you're going to combat it. And my best idea would be to get education and attend classes and then make some lifestyle changes.
So I'm thinking about this lady who was talking about stage 3.
Yes.
Now, is she on dialysis in stage 3?
No.
Not yet.
And she actually made modifications that her levels went the other way. Now, I will make a disclaimer on this air and say that's not all the cases, and that we're not saying that you can do that, but this lady did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Perhaps caught it in time that it hadn't made
She
the
did.
permanent.
Exactly. And that's the
damage.
whole point, because, folks, dialysis is cleaning your blood. And if you don't clean your blood, you're not going to live. I mean, that number one. And number two, the only way to not be on dialysis when you have chronic kidney disease and you've gotten to that stage is to have a transplant. And as transplant isn't an easy remedy when you think about people that are sick. So we're glad to be out there, and we're trying to keep kidney disease top of mind as much as people do or don't want to think about their health. That we just want to go out there and have fun and do lots of screenings and find out and take it from there.
Now, and there's not an age issue with kidney disease. It can affect young and old.
Yes, that's true. It can, although it normally does affect seniors, but yes, it can affect anyone. I mean, we've had people that actually have worked with us that had their transplant in early ages, 10 or.
Wow.
I've actually had a baby that was born with kidney problems.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and we're working with them right now. They're going through all different types of things. So,
well, I remember a couple of years ago we had somebody in here who was going through. Well, I think he was on dialysis waiting for a transplant, and he was an athlete. I mean, was a marathon runner, and all this kind of stuff. And he looked like the picture of health. And here he is with this deadly disease. I mean, pardon the expression, but it's like, and I keep thinking, is there a way to find out whether he got his transplant or how he's doing?
Well,
really,
actually,
that's
it's
all
personal information, and right. But it's a very good point that you brought that up, because sometimes your kidneys are just damaged. Like you're saying, it's probably not that gentleman by what he's actually eating, but probably from his hereditary. So,
I see. Okay.
Yeah, because remember what I was saying about the Pacific Islanders. Now, he may not have been or whatnot, but I'm just saying it. You have to. Doesn't mean because you're Pacific Islander you're going to have kidney disease, but you may have a chance, and you should be proactive in checking.
Interesting. Wow. Gary, next time you go to the doctor, what are you going to ask for?
I always ask for this kidney screening.
Do you?
There you go.
Good
Yeah.
boy.
What is the specific name of the test? Do you have a name?
Kidney function. That's all I know.
You know what? It's you're checking your GFR, your GFR test, and that's your filtration rate. But so please come out in February and in March for those screenings. And the Maui Adult Daycare, they're going to be putting on their walk as they always do, and we're going to do some screenings for them.
And
So
she's going to be on the show before that.
oh, wonderful!
Yeah, so she'll be talking about that.
Wonderful.
And then we'll get you back on before the March event at Queen Kahumanu Center.
That sounds wonderful. And everybody, Willie K is going to be rocking it this weekend. Go get your tickets.
It sounds like a great event. And for those ticket prices, that includes ribs?
Yes. Well, I haven't talked to the chef on what he's, but it is a
it
barbecue buffet.
It does include. Wow.
And a no-host bar.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But even just having something to eat is that's a bargain.
Well, they're really they prepare good food up there. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's quite the deal. So Friday and Saturday night,
Friday and Saturday night. Doors open at 5:30. The performances start at 6:30. And I just really wanted to do a big shout out to KAOI and to you for promoting and supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate what you do, and I think probably many of us don't have any idea how many people we know that you have helped.
That's true.
Even if it's just getting people out there to get screened,
Right.
That's the first step.
Right.
So thank you, Jill, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I look
have a
forward to it.
great event. The silent auction, I hope, raises lots of money for the Kidney Foundation.
Thank you very much.
And
And
of
don't
course-
forget www.williekbluesfest.com for your tickets.
For your tickets. Very good. Thank you so much. This has been an interesting day. I had no idea when I scheduled the two of you that we were going to have such prominence as being number one. I mean, that's a terrible thing.
It is a terrible thing.
It's not an honor by any means. I mean, to be number one with the attempted suicide rates and number one with kidney disease. Folks, let's do something about it. Let's get out there. Let's help each other. Let's talk to each other, and let's get a little more involved. I know we don't want to get involved in other people's lives, but let's get involved enough to help them help themselves.
There you go.
How about that? That's our 2016 mantra. Help each other help themselves.
There you go.
Okay. Now I've got a challenge for this year's radio shows. Anyway, we want to thank you all for joining us today. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. Again, today we visited with the National Kidney Foundation of Maui and with Robert from the Mental Health America of Hawaii, Maui branch, and talked about what they're doing to help make Maui the best it can be. Next week, we will have two more agencies talking to us. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week right here, Wednesday at noon, KAOI Radio, 1110 AM, 96.7 FM, and 96.5 FM on the west side, when we'll feature two more agencies of our organization. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. And this weekend, folks, it's Willie K. doing the blues concert. No, blues what fest?
There you go.
It's the Blues Fest. Right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. First week of the new year. Have a great week. Aloha.